Warning: this video isn't for people with weak hearts. Have you ever wondered what happens in the afterlife? If not, then you might question yourself at the end of this video. The story begins with Lara hosting a ghost show for guests who have encountered paranormal activity in their home. Lara shows the video of the experience where the guest's pet dog was stuck at the fan with all the things shaking and shattering. When Lara is about to speak, she has a glimpse of Bran that scares her off, leading to a break. Lara's manager Malcolm and her fiancé calmed her and handled the situation, getting a break. Lara received a message from her stepmother Delia prompting her to leave the show. When she went to her, she got the shocking news that her father died in a plane crash and even survived but became the food for a shark. Lara wanted to inform her daughter Sarah, but she wasn't picking up the call as she hated her mother. Sarah loves her father, but she lost him in a car accident with only memories remaining. Lara, Delia and Malcolm went to pick up Sarah from the boarding school. Delia called aloud Sarah to not hurt her mother with her behaviour, bursting the news in sorrow that her mother lost her father like she had. Sarah talks for a while to her mother, complaining she should be with her rather than ghosts. Sarah attends his grandfather's funeral, and the sorrowful event takes a moment for Lara and Sarah to have a conversation where she shares her depressed feelings that sometimes she feels dying is better than living, as she was very attached to her father, and when she needed her mother, she was busy with their own stuff, feeling hate in her heart for Lara. However, Lara cares for her daughter, and she suggests showing a therapist, much to Sarah's irritation, as she thought her mother was diverting the topic to avoid discussing Sarah's father. Although Lara explains politely that she loves her husband, their relationship ended long ago before the accident. If you were thinking of having Charles in the dead world, then you had a right guess. Here we witness Charles in the dead world, where he was said to wait for his turn. Jackson, an officer of the dead world, called Bran for investigation as a soul-sucker woman, Dolores looking for him to revenge, which was later revealed to be Bran's wife. We were all wondering since the first part how Bran died, which revelation is pretty interesting. Once he was a grave robber when he met Dolores in the darkness, and they married with a disgusting tradition of drinking each other's blood. On that night, Dolores uncovers her true motives. She wants to be immortal, demanding Bran's life and soul, giving him poison. She was almost close to her goal, but she was killed by Bran with a knife, cutting her into pieces. The story comes back to Charles's death, where we witness the same house in Winter River that we saw in the first part, but with a more haunted look even in the sunshine. Charles's funeral was going on with family and friends gathered while Malcolm was playing his tricks on Sarah, but being aware of his true intentions, shook her off. Malcolm, scared of Sarah's smartness, grabs the attention of all and proposes to Lara while she is hesitant to reply, but unfortunately, she says yes in a low voice. With that, the sorrowful event converts into a celebration. However, Sarah got frustrated with her mum's decision and picked up her cycle and rode out from there. In stress, cycling proves dangerous for Sarah, as after breaking the fence she ends up falling into a tree. She saw a boy named Jeremy up in a treehouse, who helped her and found him interesting. She started talking, sharing the reason for being in Winter River at his grandfather's funeral, and revealing her mother is Lara Dietz, who is well known for the Ghost House show. Jackson is in stress as Dolores is creating trouble, sucking the souls coming her way to Bran, making it necessary for Jackson to find Bran prior. Bran was casually flipping the newspaper when he saw Lara's photo in Charles's death section. He recognized her and found it the right time to make contact with her, as he wanted to marry her in the first part but failed. Sarah heard that Adam and Barbara won't be anymore in the home from Lara. She went up into the room to just see where she found the town model, and also an advertisement from Bran offering to contact. Sarah found her father's box, in which she saw their pictures. Meanwhile, Lara came, and when asked by Sarah, she said the model belonged to the Maitland couple. Soon after, Lara noticed the advertisement, making her panic stop Sarah from calling its name, but when she didn't hear her, she forcefully took her out. Lara takes breaths to calm herself, sharing her concern regarding Bran with Delia. Sarah went to Jeremy, and he took her to his room, where he showed her the books, including the book Recently Deceased we had seen in the first part. They both started talking about their lives, and Sarah told Jeremy that she lost her father in an accident, but as his body wasn't found, she felt an emptiness. Jeremy questioned if her mother, with her supernatural powers, may connect with her father, but she said she tried, but was never able to make contact with him. Sarah told about her mum's upcoming wedding on Halloween, but she didn't want to attend, and Jeremy suggested spending Halloween together, having snacks to keep her distracted from the wedding. Lara was with Malcolm when she got weird Bran pop-ups in her phone, and being frustrated with his presence, she went near the town model, speaking angrily to Bran to leave her alone. Malcolm came to her, and she told the truth about Bran, that it was not just a name from her past, but a tricky demon who had stolen her peace in her teenage years, and who created chaos for her family, referring to the first part. Not only that, but even tricked her to marry him to come back to the living world. Lara explains this to Malcolm and restricts him from taking his name 3 times as it will make him appear. Malcolm, disbelieving her understanding it is a psychological trauma, intends to overcome it by facing, called Bran. Bran takes them instantly into the model office of Bran, where he plays with their fear using scary visualization and introducing his haunted baby, leading Malcolm to become unconscious. Lara is frustrated and says home 3 times came back out of the model. However, Bran is seen singing a romantic song in the model, and Malcolm understands it is a dream. Delia shows Sarah the defanged snakes she ordered for her grief art, paying extra bucks for defanged. Interrupts by Lara, who told them about her recent horrible experience, suggests destroying the model, claiming it is connected to Bran and urging them to leave the house. But on Sarah's request, as she promised Jeremy to spend Halloween together, they stayed a little longer. Lara drops Sarah at Jeremy's home, and when she gets back home, she meets her property dealer called by Delia. Being concerned about Sarah's safety, she talked about Jeremy's house, and it was revealed that it was a murdered house she was never able to sell. Also, Jeremy had murdered his parents 23 years ago, and when police came to arrest him, he fell from the tree, breaking his neck, and died on the spot. Lara doesn't waste a single minute and rushes to Jeremy's house, where she sees his parents' ghost. She went up into the room, but it was already late, as Jeremy had taken Sarah to the land of the dead, manipulating her to read a spell and offering her that if she helped her, she would see her father one last time. In the graveyard, Delia was doing her grief art with snakes in front of cameras, but the snakes bit her, revealing it was not defanged as Delia died on the spot. Lara, unaware of what's next, takes the Jeremy book and calls Bran, asking him the meaning, which reveals that Sarah has traded her life for Jeremy. Lara asks Bran for help, and he demands to marry him to save him from her ex-wife. Lara agrees, and they sign a contract. Bran opens a gate to the dead world and shows Lara the way. The gate was left open, and Bran's servant went to the living world, creating chaos in the living world. Jackson got an alert of exploitation of 699, which means someone from the living world came to the land of the dead. It was done by none other than Bran. Jackson sent his agents to find Bran while Delia, recently deceased, showed up in the land of the dead, while Sarah started feeling strange when Jeremy revealed that she swapped her life with his through the spell she had chanted earlier. On the other side, disturbed Delia called Bran for help, and he said she had to marry her daughter to him. Lara found Sarah pushed by guards onto the train, and she managed to take her out from there, but they ended up in a desert place from where Saturn could be seen. A snake chased them, but in the nick of time, Sarah's father saved them, and she was very happy to meet him. He shows them the way to the living world while Jeremy is about to get a passport. Bran makes it in time and sends him to hell, rejecting his passport. Sarah and Lara bid goodbye and came up into the living world through a gate in the graveyard. As Lara entered, she found the church full of wedding preparations. However, Bran brought Delia back to the living world and announced the contract Lara signed with him, urging Lara to fulfill it. Malcolm interrupts, but Bran injects a truth serum into Malcolm, through which he confesses the truth that he wants to marry Lara for money. Much to Lara's annoyance, she gave a solid punch to Malcolm equipped by Bran. The wedding starts as Bran takes control of all trapping guests in their phones. He makes Church Father officiate his wedding, and Bran sings his own version of MacArthur Park, adding twists. Lara's outfit changed to the same red dress we had seen in the first part. The cake also came out from the back and seemed weird while all were dancing, controlled by Bran. Sarah tried to read the recently deceased book in the hope of a solution, but failed. Meanwhile, Jackson makes his entry with agents through the walls covering Bran from all sides, announcing, by the court of the afterlife, that Bran is under arrest, but through a megaphone, in a single blow, Bran freezes Jackson and all his agents. The story takes a twist when Bran's ex-wife Dolores comes into the scene. Scared Bran but determined, he distracts her, converting Malcolm's t-shirt into the I Love Dolores symbol, making him a target. In the meantime, Sarah managed to grab the book, and luckily she got her fingers on the right page, through which she called a snake she witnessed earlier in the desert that took Dolores and Malcolm to the afterlife. Bran took a carefree breath as he got rid of his wife. He is ready to claim his reward, moving further on his plan to marry Lara, showing the contract, but Sarah enacts that Bran has broken a law 699, which means all the contracts he signs will be voided, leaving Bran speechless for a moment and burning the contract. Silent Lara now acts, realizing calling his name fills the air in him, and as she calls him 2 more times, Bran bursts apart with dust remains. Sarah thanks her mother, and they hug each other with relaxation. However, Delia told them she had died bitten by snakes scammed by the snake supplier, as the snake wasn't defanged. However, Delia wasn't upset as she would be able to meet Charles, his husband, whom she loved always. She bids goodbye to them and is taken to the afterlife by Jackson, where she meets Charles. Lara has her last show, announcing that it's her turn to live her life with her loved one, where we see Sarah getting to a new school and married, though it takes a dark turn when Bran's baby is born as Sarah's son. It was a bad dream Lara had seen. She feels Bran's presence, but before she turns out, he is already gone, leaving us with the question if Bran has really gone or will make his next appearance. Let us know in the comment below. What do you think?